The Jedi worked tirelessly to uphold peace in the galaxy and scourge the tyranny of the Sith. But what would happen if the Jedi Order fell to the dark side?
But there's only one way to find out. Funny, those belong to Ventress. Should have gotten rid of them.
I think they suit me.
Okay, so for this theory, we're going to set it in the midst of the Clone Wars, as I think this is a particular era where the Jedi were at their most vulnerable, where many did question their ability to protect the galaxy without falling to the dark side. Now, for the theory, I'm not actually saying that the Jedi become Sith. Sith are their own following, so it's going to be more like Dark Jedi. So, during the Clone Wars, young Jedi were being forced into the fray without fully completing their training as they were supposed to, and in the chaos of the war, some of these apprentices begin to dabble in the dark side of the Force. Through their new powers, they are more effective at their primary purpose, which is at this point winning the war. Now, these Jedi's success make them heroes in the eyes of the Republic and to many in the Jedi Order. Now, realistically, the Jedi Council would have noticed this and taken measures to stop it, but I'm gonna say Sidious's use of the dark side to block the Jedi's minds also made them blind to this. Now, over time, these Dark Jedi Zealots would become more and more common, particularly amongst younger Jedi members who hadn't completed their training, and Knights whose main job is combat. Eventually, they would become a sizable fraction of the faction and a division would form. The Loyalist Jedis who follow the Jedi Code, and the others who are willing to exploit the dark side for their gains. Now, eventually this division, in my opinion, would get so bad that combat between the two inner factions would be inevitable, and for the fun of the theory, I'm going to say that the Dark Jedi win this civil war, no matter how unlikely that is. The scourge occurs, and those who follow the old Jedi Order are killed or ousted. So, what happens now? Surely the Republic wouldn't allow the Jedi to rip each other apart. Well, remember, the Jedi who've been exploiting the dark side would likely be far more famous, as their extended powers and brutality that comes with their use of the dark side would make them more successful in their battles. So it's likely the Dark Jedi would be supported in their taking of power by the general citizens of the Republic. Realistically, what happens next is the Jedi do what they set out to do in the first place, and that is end the Clone Wars. Commanding the Grand Army of the Republic, they butcher the enemy using merciless tactics, which although been far higher in terms of loss of life, would mean that the war would be won far quicker, and would likely lead to a paper trail all the way back to Sidious. So realistically, I think that Sidious would not manage to take power in this timeline. The war would be ended and the Separatists would be hunted down and brought to justice by the now dark side, power-hungry Jedi Order. Now, essentially, you've got an order of bloodthirsty warriors who are seen as heroes to the Republic right at its heart, and inevitably, I think that the use of the dark side will begin to corrupt the Jedi further. After seeing what their use of the dark side of the Force got them, they would crave more. The dark side of the Force is addictive in ways. The power it gives is finite, however it corrupts the body, making it dependent. So these Jedis would not be satisfied by simply restoring order and peace to the galaxy, they would demand more. I believe the Jedi Order would follow in the mantra of the ancient Sith. Power was key, competition even within their own ranks would be squashed out, and the Jedi would somewhat turn on themselves, killing anyone who got in the way of their own ambitions, and the Jedi Council would be made up of the most brutal and ambitious of the Dark Jedi. But it doesn't end here. The Jedi wouldn't stop simply desiring further strength, they'd want an empire of their own, and would likely use the Republic and their heightened fame as war heroes to gain political influence, slowly tearing down the democracy they once fought for. The armies of the Republic would serve the galactic elite Jedi, and essentially the Jedi would be hailed as gods amongst the rest of the galaxy. All that they would fear is one another. The galaxy would be similar to the Sith Empire of old. Constant power plays would make or break galactic leaders. But how long do you think a galaxy with this sort of leadership would last, and what do you think would happen? Thanks for watching, I hope you enjoyed. If so, please remember to like, share and sub for more content. Also, follow me on Twitter at TheLoreGuy for regular updates. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.